Legend tales of a place where the booze flows freely and the stories are always entertaining. If you are bold enough to seek out such a place, head 13 miles down the Tuscan Highway to a tiny blues joint known as the Townsmith Tavern. Once there, enjoy the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and Bowl.
Excuse me, you can't say that. You're gonna lose your family-friendly rating. You're gonna corrupt the kids.
BS! A podcast that invites you to grab a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. And here are your hosts, Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast about Arctic radish farming and its social economic impact on the muskox ranchers of the South Northeast. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Just for clarification, is that the southern, northeast, western portion of the state? Or
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of lost it as I was going through that.
Okay, I'm glad that I picked you up on the back end there. I'm doing all right because tonight is another night we get together and have some good times, and it's another chance for me to have some tasty beverages, have some good conversation. Get to poke fun at maybe point out certain things that haven't happened yet on this show. So we'll get to that a little bit later, without completely giving away everything. Because each week we have something new and something exciting that we bring to you, our faithful listener or viewer, depending on which platform you're joining us on. You know,
you go singular there. You said
because,
listener. Wouldn't it be listeners?
I don't like to do the generalization of, hey, you out there in the audience. I like to go, you listening, you watching. Maybe there's a couple of you at the same time checking this episode out, and we appreciate that. I like talking directly because, damn it, our fans are the best fans, and they are part of this episode, so it's like we are having that discussion with them. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm talking to you, Howard Blues.
You know, you should have called out somebody else's name right there. You know, just like, I'm talking to you, yeah, Frank, and some guy named Frank who'd be listening would be like, oh my God, how'd they know?
Talking to you, Trucker Dave.
Yeah.
Ha! What the hell? And I hope Trucker Dave, by the way, thanks for your patronage. Thanks for viewing and listening to us while you're doing the long haul down I-29. Please, if you were surprised by your name being shouted out on the episode, please try and keep yourself between the ditches. We want you to make it to your destination. Thank you for being the mother trucker that you are. So before we get too far off the rails ourselves, jumping a couple sharks, whatever the case is, I'm thirsty already because it's been a long enough week. I mean, 5 straight days. Who came up with a 5-day work week anyway? So I'm going to get this rolling. I don't know about you, but I'm going to get this rolling.
Kidder, that would be bad manners. Because
bad manners?
Yeah, because we should introduce the other person.
Talk about our beer?
Line. No.
Oh, we have somebody on the line?
Yeah.
What is this? Is this like Larry King? No. All right, Poughkeepsie. Let's take Poughkeepsie. Who's on the line? Is it like that?
Terrible Larry King impression.
Well, I know. It was more of a Craig Ferguson making fun of Larry King type of thing. Larry King.
Kidder, nobody watched that show. Nobody watched that show.
I know, and the only reason that I know that is from Craig Ferguson, The Late Late Show.
No, I mean nobody watched the Late Late Show with Greg Ferguson. Nobody watched it. Anyway,
you bastard.
Anyway, Kidder, we do have a guest. And, it's if people have gotten this far, they've seen the title of the episode, they know that we have a winner. So somebody else is on the line, and it is either the gentleman from Indiana or it's the gentleman from Nevada. It's one or the other. Who is it? I can tell they're all waiting with bated breath. Who is it? Who's on the line? Who's joining? Who's the winner? And who's getting a lot of crap because they didn't do it?
and who's got something to drink, damn it.
Yeah.
So who is it?
Should we tell them?
Yeah, well, I think that our winner needs to introduce himself.
Well, that's not good manners either.
Well, I know, but it's like building the suspense, because if I'm like, yeah, it's so-and-so, they're like, wow, I waited this long for that? So, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. Well, we'll even do it the fun way. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the first ever race to be on the show is none other than the gentleman from Nevada. Joining us live on the line, the gentleman we call Farva. Farva, welcome to the Triple B.
The gentleman we call Farva. Well, it's Farva. I'm glad he didn't confuse that.
Why, thank you. I'm glad to know I'm Farva. Anyway.
It looks like he's tickled pink to be on the show. He started drinking before us. He knew what it's like to be on the show.
I said I need a couple in the tank before I hang out with these guys.
Yeah, if it gets really bad, guys, I'll just pull out the whiskey and we'll just go straight to fun. So,
been there, done that.
I think we've all been there at some point.
So what do you got on tap there, Farva? Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Long time no see. Miss y'all. I know I moved down to way South Texas and missing that North Dakota, but boy, did we have a lot of fun, and we still have many more years to have fun.
And what do you have on tap? What do you got there?
Well, tonight it is a local, or at least a state beer, Shiner from Shiner, Texas. It's a light blonde ale.
And it looks like a full 12-ounce beverage you have in your hands there.
It was 12 ounce. I think I'm down to about 4.
Okay, we're rolling it down. What are some of the tasting notes? What does that beautiful white and blue label tell us about the beer?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's got a very hoppy flavor, but it's very subtle in that it's almost slightly sweet compared. Like if you were to compare this to, say, I don't know, a Liney's regular, it's far lighter than the regular Liney's Longhorns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are some of the other notes from the label there? As you take a look, we like to share. We'll do show and tell.
Oh yeah, show and tell.
Yeah, we read off the interesting information like please recycle and things like that.
Well, all I can tell you is that I live about an hour and a half away from this brewery, and Shiner is kind of one of Texas's, favorite beers. Don't get me wrong, they got the Coors and the Miller, but Shiner is just about everywhere.
Well, have you been to the brewery? Have you?
I have. It is a fun time in little old Shiner, Texas.
A fun time because you have to stay the night. You spent too much time at the brewery.
Yeah, and it's like a one hotel town, so you're all kind of crammed together. It's just get a DD. You don't want to. It's worth to have someone drive you back. It's.
You saying there's one motel room? Like you all have to share it? The whole tour has to share a room?
Yeah, everybody, room 3 is all yours. No, it's a really
that place.
Oh, they do. It literally is a one stoplight town. You literally stop and go. I think Shiner's only like 600 people.
That's good because at least the stoplight keeps it there, and that way you don't miss the place, right?
That's true. At least you don't miss it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you on the show, and the anticipation is killing all of us because once it was decided earlier this week, and by the way, we gave you a happy birthday shout out. You haven't seen the episode, but by the time this comes out, then you will have seen the episode. And so It's the whole future past bait and switch, tiny wimey thing that we do on the show.
Love it.
Now that we're looking in the future and the past, man, we're just living in a dream here. I need to open a beer, otherwise I'm gonna get a little bit crazy. And since we're going crazy with like the time space continuum type thing, how about nothing better than the Space Probe Blue? This is a local craft beer from our friends at Laughing Sun Brewing Company here in Bismarck, North Dakota. And remember, the sun doesn't question, it doesn't judge, it simply gives life. Laughing Sun is our beer and your beer. And of course, it is a local brewery with local ingredients, growing community, and taking the Laughing Sun with you via the can. Aside from that, let's go ahead and turn it over. It's a blueberry sour ale, and we know how Howard loves fruit in beer. This is 5.0% alcohol per volume. It is a blueberry version of the Berliner style Weiss. It's effervescent with a crisp, dry finish and a clean lactic sourness. Large additions of blueberries give this beer a purple hue, complementing the light body. 12 full ounces of this tasty brew. And of course, keep cold, enjoy fresh, please recycle. So, I'm going to put this back into the old koozie, keep it nice and chilled. Cheers to you, brothers, on the other side. And of course, taking a whiff. Yep, it's got the nice blueberry-ish smell, the sour smell, and then you get a little bit of the old hop smell with it too. So let's give this bad boy a try. All right. Blueberries aren't punching you in the face, so I have a feeling that you'd like this one, Howard. You know,
That's
a little
bold statement.
I mean, you taste more of the sour. So it's still beer. You get the beer taste, and there's just the hint of the sour there. So good stuff. What do you got on tap there, Howard?
Yeah, what do you got, Howard?
Well, let's have some fun with this. If I do that and that.
Oh no! Oh no! He's going dark.
Oh no!
For years, rumors have circled the deep. In the woods of Mount St. Helens lives the fabled Bat Squatch. While there are many tales of Bat Squatch, they are all a bit hazy on the details, which makes the truth such a juicy mystery. So what better way to honor the legend than with a hazy, juicy IPA, perfect for camping and potentially making a new friend? That's right, I have Rogue's Hazy India Pale Ale Bat Squatch. What we got here?
You might have to hold it up again because Farva was getting his next beer.
Yeah, so Bat Squatch is what I got here. On the back, it has such great descriptors as Dare, Risk, Dream. This tells me that it is a tropical and citrus flavor profile. In fact, they have one of those fun little graphs that looks like a star.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's like the idiot's guide to know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 6.7% alcohol volume. This also, Kidder, comes with a very handy parrot suggestion here. So this says that it's best to pair this with white cheddar, grilled salmon, or strawberry shortcake. I have none of those items here. So, I will say this has to be better than the pumpkin beer. So
now you did it.
yeah. So it definitely smells like an IPA. So.
Oh boy, not my favorite type. I'm not going to lie to you, Howard. I'm not an IPA kind of guy.
You know, I'm not picking up the fruity, juicy tones that this supposedly is supposed to have. Getting much more of like a pine flavoring. It's kind of what I'm
like
getting.
a pine sol pine flavoring, or like the pine tree air freshener pine flavoring.
Kind of like you went outside and licked a spruce.
Well, gents, I went down into my ice cold pail of beers, and I actually picked up a different type of beer than what I was drinking. Got a Yuengling lager from Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
Anybody ever have one of these?
Can't say that I have.
I've heard of them, and I can't remember if I've tried one, but it appears that Farva has, in his haste of grabbing beers, gone so fast that he's gone either back in time, pause time, or he's going into the future.
Or out of state, man, because it says it's America's oldest beer and oldest lager. So maybe I did go back in time.
And tell us more about the Youngling.
The Yuengling, I don't know, whatever it is, but it's very hoppy and very pungent. It tingles the nostrils, but it tastes good. Goes down good, smooth. Yeah, that's about it. They really don't put much on this one. Anyway,
Yeah.
now that we're all brewed up.
Yeah, it's always interesting because some breweries put like so much information on the can and creative descriptions and things like that. And sometimes we've had a couple on the show where it's like, well, it's a Scotch ale.
Yeah.
Good luck with anything else. So
Yeah, hey, I look to it as long as when you drink it, you enjoy it. That's all that matters.
I kind of think our audience prefers it when we drink it and we don't enjoy it.
Oh well, this beer is horrible. I never ever want to drink this ever again.
Yeah, we might need to put up a poll. It'll be like the post that I put on Facebook months ago now that said, if this post gets one like, I'm going to have a beer. And I waited like 3 days. And it so happened that, man, the show liked that post, so I had to have a beer. So, I don't know. We're just not paying to reach enough people or something like that. We need you, our faithful viewers and listeners, to share the show. And, sharing is caring. So help us help you by sharing the laughter and the shenanigans. BeerBluesBS.com.
Absolutely.
That's it.
But I
Didn't say anything.
You might even be able to see the latest episode of Howard's new mini documentary series, Howard's Cave of Wonder.
And
now on your favorite video and audio listening service, or at BeerBluesBS.com.
Or it's only exclusive to YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, audio listeners.
Which you can find at BeerBluesBS.com. But I'm not going to edit that. What?
I didn't say anything.
Come on.
I think it's, look for more of those episodes. I might talk a little bit more about that later in the show. But, Kidder, I think it's might be a good idea in time that we kind of tell the audience, who is Farva? Who is this guy that we just brought on the show? How do we know him? How is it that we know a gentleman from Nevada who's now from Texas?
All good questions, and hopefully can be answered.
This guy gets around.
Yep. I'm like a lady of the night. Always out there.
Flying over here, flying over there. Doing things. He's been all over the place, yeah. I believe it goes back to the year 2003. Possibly almost to 2004 at this point. Farva, you're on the show, so you go ahead and you tell us about how we stumbled upon each other.
Well, the name Farva. Do you actually know how I got called Farva throughout college? Do you remember?
That would be a great story to tell us.
All right. Well, if you quite remember, around 2003, the movie Super Troopers had just come out not too long ago, and I could impersonate the character Rod Farva. And so I did it so well that some people in my freshman year said, "That's it, your name's Farva." So that's how the name got stuck. And then towards the end of that first year, going into the second year, I was friends with some mutual friends of y'all's that were from Bismarck, and we got introduced, and we all just kind of clicked, if I recall, because we were kind of we were into the Star Trek, Star Wars, role-playing games, gaming in general. And ultimately, we were just not about some of the individuals that were very into politics, I guess is a nice way to say it.
Yeah. The group that we're referring to, we called the Bismarck cult. Because it was.
Oh, that's right, the cult.
Right. It was the Bismarck cult. And it was a group of us who were from Bismarck. Not a lot, it wasn't necessarily like a group from Bismarck, like, hey, we all hung out in high school and we're here. It was kind of more of like, yeah, we all went to high school together, and, there was a few loose connections, but, and a few friendships. But it was, kind of this loose assortment. Kidder wasn't in the cult for long. Kidder dropped out pretty quick because, he was too cool for the cult.
I wouldn't say dropped out.
Come
on now.
Too cool to drink the Kool-Aid.
He's he's better than the cool kids in the cult. Come on. They wanted to drink the Jello. They wanted to drink the Jello shot. Come on.
I got peer pressured enough. I was used to it, so it didn't bother me any. No, I got other stuff to do, like make a documentary, a half-hour documentary in 5 days. So I'll be busy.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because of that, Kidder, you got to miss a lot of the cult drama, because that cult grew and then slowly devoured itself.
Oh, absolutely did. And the good part is that, Howard, I got to meet you, and then of course Lefty, and started, our friendship, all of us. And the name kind of stuck around in the aviation community because, as you all recall, I was going towards, flying jets for a career and doing that study in college. And, I was just a barrel of fun. I decided to throw in 2 kids in the matter, too.
Yeah,
that was an interesting time.
I was going to tell the story. I think one of my favorite moments with the three of us ever was actually at that wedding, Farva.
Oh,
it was because of the photographer.
Oh,
the photographer that Farva and
Mother Hen. That's her code name.
Farva got married in this big Catholic church.
Yep.
And this guy put up a ladder about halfway down the aisle, so halfway down the church. And normally most photographers would shout from the ladder, "Hey, you over there, take 2 steps to the left," and that. This guy didn't do that. He would get up on the ladder, he'd look through his viewfinder, he'd then climb down the ladder, he'd come walking all the way up to the front, and he'd just be like, "You on the left, a little bit over," and then he would go all the way back. And after a little bit of doing this, Kidder decided, you know what? Every time he does this, I'm going to break out my Jean-Luc Picard impression.
Yes!
Every single time. So every single time, this guy would come up, go down, you need to take a step to the right, and he'd turn and walk away, and Kidder would just go, "Make it so."
I remember this.
2 steps to the left.
And that's the reaction we got from Farva every time that happened. His Farva would lose it.
And the guy wouldn't stop doing it. He kept doing it.
Oh my God! Yes.
I don't know what's really funny, but like I think
I just we were going to run out of famous Jean-Luc Picard catchphrases because it was taking so long.
God, oh man.
yes, it did take quite a bit of time. Like going back in a time machine to when we had to develop the photography as it's taken. In fact, it's like drawing a picture. But, yeah. And then if I remember correctly, I would also randomly move a little bit. So then,
Oh yeah, because he's got
a little bit to the left, to the right.
God,
yep.
That was so much fun. That was so much fun. Yeah, but I'll say this.
And having.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then having dinosaur breakdance at the reception.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Oh.
And I should go get it. It's the night that I made my first working dollar.
Oh, yeah. Who gave you that dollar, Mark? I mean, yeah, Mark. Who gave you that dollar?
He had to go get the dollar from the Museum of Collectibles. He had to go find it, search the archives, dust the dirt and such off of it so he could show.
Yeah. So this is my first working dollar, and to tell the rest of the story, as it were, we'll have to have Brother Nico on again. But
oh god,
here it is. My first working dollar. It's also on a classy portrait right here that Brother Nico gifted me for Christmas one year. But yes, my first working dollar. Still keeping that bad boy for a rainy day.
Oh,
get me somewhere, boys. Gonna get me somewhere.
I miss talking. I miss hanging out with you guys.
And then, of course, the two of us were carrying on our Blues Brothers theme.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Dude, my aunts and uncles were hysterical.
And that started actually a trend, Farva, of at any wedding where Kidder and I are both invited, and especially if we're in the bridal party, we have to sing Stand By Your Man at it. So we did it at your wedding first,
right?
Then my wedding, and then I worked it into the best man speech that I gave at Kidder's wedding. So, which was filled with a lot of references and jokes and a lot of sarcasm.
Well, of course, you have to have sarcasm. That's just the normal way of things.
No sarcasm here.
Here's the thing, and I will give Kidder a little grief about this because Farva, you weren't at Kidder's wedding.
No, unfortunately,
Kidder had like 5 best men. He couldn't decide on who his best man was, so there were like 5 of us. Yeah, so there were like 5 best man speeches. So it was a bit of a competition of who could do the best speech.
Well, the question comes down to who won that game.
But you can't ask him because he's going to say that he won it.
Well, then Kidder, who had the better speech then?
They were all great in their own way.
That's the greatest diplomatic answer ever. They're all great. They're all great.
The best in their own way because they were all a best man speech. And so I give everyone props.
That's such a common answer.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can neither confirm nor deny these or any other allegations at this time. Thank you. Next question.
Well, I will say this. The Farvettes were the real reason that people remembered my nickname because they're like, oh, that's the guy who knocked up his girlfriend and got twin daughters. That's Farva. But I'll tell you what, though. They are genuinely the best things I've ever created. They are they are turning into quite the great young ladies, and I know they're going to do good things.
We were talking a little bit about that before the show too. Of they're already driving, and it's like, that was a while ago, but
it doesn't feel
freaking ridiculous because it was like yesterday.
Yeah, it feels like that. And what's even more crazy is that I just turned, the 6th anniversary of my 30th birthday, and I'm like, in like 2 more years, they're going to be out as adults in the real world.
I'm sorry. Did you just refer to yourself as like a 40-year-old white woman saying that she's 21 plus 7? Is that what I just heard? Yes, sir. You definitely heard me say that because, go for it. Just so there's no confusion. Oh, there's no confusion. No confusion, kidder. No confusion. But anyway, that's how Farva got started, and realistically, everybody knew me as that from the aviation community, and then just within our group of friends. I mean, it just stuck around. I mean, you'd use my real name, and nobody knew who that was. You'd say Farva. Oh yeah, that guy right there. Oh,
which I think you made out pretty well with Farva. I mean, because later, kind of in your college days, I mean, you could have been a dead ringer for Larry the Cable Guy. So
I could have.
You could have gotten stuck with Larry or the Cable Guy. I think Farva's a much better, more unique nickname in that case. So
it's true, but you know what? I think Farva was foreshadowing because I spent all that money, time, and effort to become a commercial aviator, and I'm in law enforcement now. So it's like a foreshadow,
Yeah.
So shit happens.
Shit happens. Best answer ever.
But I mean, we've had a lot of good times.
God,
college. I mean, I still, as we're sitting here talking, things that are flooding back. Like the time that I helped you move when you left Grand Forks.
Yes.
And I remember being down in the box truck.
Yes.
And basically, as part of, we've talked about the Brothers Blue Moving Company before on this show, but packing stuff, and something came down, and I immediately called you. I'm like, hey Farva, I'm helping you move. I'm sure I found something here I don't think you'll want. Would you mind if I just take it? And you just immediately like, Howard, no, you can't have the Longhorns. Those are going with me.
Yes.
How do you know I had these? So,
I know you too well, Howard. I know you too well.
I was disappointed. I was going to put them on my wife's car because at the time, Lefty was driving a Ford Aspire, which is basically a pregnant roller skate.
It's an upgrade from the Festiva.
Yeah, but I thought that thing would look just ridiculous with a set of long horns on it. So
actually, wouldn't have upgraded the value of it though?
Probably.
I remember that car, that little 4-door red Skittle thing.
2-door.
Was it 2-door? I swore it was 4-door.
It was 2-door. You could pack it well enough that it would feel like a 4-door. But it was a little.
And I remember you had the green Grand Am.
Oh, may that car rest in peace. That was
until it got blasted at Demers and 42nd.
Did you ever hear about that one, Farva? I know you.
No,
you were in the city.
I was. No. So what happened?
So after I graduated from UND, I went back to work on getting a special education minor because I spent a whole summer trying to get hired as a teacher and nobody was hiring me.
I remember that.
And that's where I was sleeping on a couch in Kidder's apartment. I was on my way. It was on my way to class up at UND, and I was on Demers. I was going to turn left off of Demers to head out to the main strip on campus.
Yeah.
And as I'm sitting there, so I'm sitting waiting for the light. Car coming towards me runs the red, just T-boned another car, and just right across the intersection, and I was collateral damage.
Oh.
I was actually on I was actually on the phone with my mom at the time as we were talking about, because it was right close to like the Christmas break. So I think we were talking about me coming home for that.
Yeah.
And so on her end, she got to hear me go, "Oh shit," because you could see it coming. Just, oh shit. And then
I couldn't even imagine how you would exactly your facial expressions. You'd be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. So I got hit, but the car that ran the red, it was this black SUV, moved his car after the accident. So he took off. So the car that he T-boned that had the right of way, basically you could tell hit on the side. And then here's my green Grand Am, which had been the main thing they slammed into, had the crushed front. So guess who got pulled into the cop car as the guy who caused the accident? That was me. Yeah.
Oh.
The cop brought me in, and he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I'm sitting at the light waiting to turn left. This happened." And you could just tell, like, he was not buying it. Like he was. I can understand. He's looking at the cars. My car's crushed in the front. The other car's crushed on the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm probably at fault. He brings in the driver of the car that got hit, and that guy didn't even see who hit it. So he didn't know. So he didn't help. So the officer, you could just tell, he wanted me to confess this, and I wasn't because I didn't do it. But you could tell he wasn't believing me, and you knew this was going to go badly. The last person he brought into the squad car, because of course it's winter, so he's bringing us in to talk to us. The last one he brings in just happens to be the driver of the Budweiser truck that was next to me. And he was able to say, "No, the green Grand Am was sitting right there next to me waiting for the light." And the cop finished taking his statement, and he let the Budweiser truck driver go. He let the other guy go, and I was the last one in the car. And he handed me back my ID. He's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't believe you."
At least he apologized,
Yeah, I was really upset at the time because I loved that car. I lost that, and I then ended up driving a Chevy Yukon for a while, which just wasn't as great as that Grand Am. So, but that's what happened to that car. So,
well, you remember that red Dodge Ram I had for pretty much all of college?
Yes.
Yeah. It lasted me up until about 2014. It blew a head gasket and a water pump. So I had to go. I was kind of like not the great time to have it break down completely, and it's so old, had so many miles. So I went and got a used F-150. I was like, all right, just get me by, whatever. No joke. I sold that truck for $1,000 cash, and it's now driving somewhere in San Antonio today. The guy that bought it's like, yeah, it's cheap. I'll fix it, and he's using it for God knows what in San Antonio.
Yeah, the Yukon that I ended up with, which I got from my parents, and I drove that for a number of years until it started having problems. And my dad's like, "You should just go out and actually get a new car." I'm like,
"Yeah,
okay." And he helped me do that. And then he got the Yukon back, and he actually just sold it here recently.
Oh wow!
I kid you not, he sells the damn thing, and like a week later, he gets a call from the guys who bought it. "Hey, did you change the tires on?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, the tire fell off of it." My dad's like, "Well, too bad. I sold it as is." So good luck with that one. So
wait, the tire fell off.
The tire fell off. Yes. Damaged fender. Guy wasn't very happy. So,
well,
it's
it happens.
I guess that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what other good times? Brothers Blue Moving.
Yeah.
The three of us, orchestrated by you, Farva, as we've referenced before, ended up moving an individual out of an apartment in about 40 minutes.
That's right. It was really efficient and quick.
Yeah. Yeah, for the audience, this was just a rehash. Brothers Blue Moving Company was kind of the unofficial moving company that Kidder and I kind of ran, and it was kind of this thing of we'd help you move, but then you kind of owed us to help with another move, or two, or three. But people ended up just having fun with us, so we had people who kept coming back, and we did a lot. We helped move a lot of people. But one time, Farva reached out to us about a individual, a friend that he knew, Kidder and I somewhat knew, who was in a very bad situation, marital-wise, and she needed to get out. And basically, the only time that she could get out was when this guy went to the gym. And so when he went to the gym for an hour, we showed up with the whole crew, and we were able to pretty much clear the apartment in, like 30, 40 minutes. In fact, I think we took the toilet paper even just because we could. So, yeah.
Yep, help the U-Haul.
Yeah, I think the mom, because the gal's mom was there, and she was just so shocked at how much stuff we were able to get out of there. She's like, I didn't think we'd get, half of this stuff. It's like, no, we called in every favor. We brought in everybody. So,
yeah, gosh, yeah, I remember that. I just, there were so many good moments. Like, so many times that we were all hanging out, barbecues,
I-29, baby.
Oh, I-29. Gosh, I miss that place.
Yeah,
I was very
closed.
I know. I saw that, and I'll be honest with you, I was really sad, because that's one of the best places in town if you just want to get a quick bite to eat.
24/7. And if you're studying or doing anything,
remember
go to I-29.
Go to I-29. Remember the ribs?
See everybody else there.
Oh yeah, remember the rib stickers?
Yeah.
Yep, those were delicious.
Strawberry pie. The tortilla soup.
Yep. Bison burger.
And bison burgers were good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Breakfast was good.
Let's be real. There really wasn't any bad food there. I can't really recall any bad food.
Brother Nico's favorite dish was the chef salad, because you get a whole head of lettuce in this giant ass bowl. Just good. And the chicken drummies with the Louisiana hot sauce. Just amazing.
Yes.
And our server Marie. She knew what each of us drank, and so you're going to have this tonight? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Just write it down. Yep. Miss that place.
I do. My dad loved that place. Anytime he came up to visit, he always wanted to go there at least once or twice while he was up to visit. So, always good times.
Good memory of him too. Yeah.
It is. It's always a good memory. Yeah. In fact, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Kidder.
I was just going to say the pancakes, because you probably had the pancakes, and they were this big.
Yeah.
And Nico would get them, and they'd be this big. Just tiny. It's like they knew. But what's your memory, Farva?
Oh, gosh. I just remember it was a blizzard, and everything was closed down except for I-29. Except for I-29 truck stop. And I'll tell you what, they were always open no matter what. They were like the post office. Rain, sleet, or snow, they were always open.
Yeah, I remember many winter storms, blizzards, whatever the case. We're like, kind of hungry. We could eat. Well, shit, let's go over to I-29. And the interstates are closed. There's 2 to 6 foot drifts everywhere, and we're straight through and pull up. And the lights, yep, shit, they're open. Let's go in.
Oh, yep. Oh, look, they got Marie's there. Hey, our orders.
Yep. It's
gosh,
good times.
Good times. Oh man.
What else you want to touch on about being up there at the El Forco Grande?
Oh, the Forco Grande. looking back, I mean, I love this going to school and getting my degree. I mean, I think we all were like, "Yeah, cool." We, did our thing, got our piece of paper, but I really love the time I spent with y'all, our friends, and just doing goofy, stupid, silly shit and just laughing our asses off.
Like the time the three of us went, 3 of us plus went storm chasing to find some of the tornadoes south of town.
Oh yeah!
And got the famous picture of Howard driving because I was, watching the clouds and taking some pictures. So I got a famous photo of Howard trying to see the road, and he's like this, and he's got his what would you call that hat there, Howard?
I'm trying to remember the photo. That's I was trying to remember what you.
It's a really shitty photo. It was getting dark, so I used the flash. So you're like. It's from the side, but it's like one of those the driver hats or the golf hats.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I just moved into this place and I'm unpacking, I actually just found that hat, Kidder, and I kid you not, I'm like, oh, my hat. And as I had pulled it out, I snapped the bill on it. So unfortunately, I just broke that hat. So
you killed it.
Yeah,
you killed it. It took you almost 16 years, but you killed it.
Well, it's mostly been in storage for a good chunk of that, but yeah.
Hey, Kidder, are you talking about the same one that hit Northwood?
No, it wasn't that night because that afternoon I was driving back from Minneapolis.
Oh yeah. Well, the Northwood one, I actually was on I-29 as it was about to jump, and it spun me in my truck 360 on the highway.
Aren't those awesome?
They are. They were. But then I was like, I could have died. This was a poor choice.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It's just a good car wash.
I survived. I mean, right? It's a good car wash. Just a recreation of the movie Twister. Red Dodge Ram pickup, tornadoes, all similar.
You just needed somebody or something named Dorothy in the back, so then it could fly out.
Yes, or a cow going by.
Yeah, we got cows.
Yes.
God, I hate Twister. I hate that movie.
Hey, they're remaking it. That's what's really funny.
Great.
Yeah,
maybe we can flush that turd down the toilet too.
So Kidder, okay, here we go. Well, let's do a little ranking, okay?
What?
I want you to rank the following: Twister, Ice Twisters, Sharknado. So those 3.
Oh,
son of a bitch! If it's like picking diarrhea in a toilet, sharding, or skid marks in your pants. Like it's kind of all the same garbage, but they're equally bad, right?
I don't know if they're equally bad. Some of those are a lot worse, as you just even described.
Yeah, it's like watching any of those movies.
So come on, give a quick ranking. If I had to sit you down with one of those to watch, what one would you tolerate?
I'd probably tolerate. Well, I was going to say something completely different, but I'm not going to say that on the show because I don't want to make people worried for my mental health. So I guess I would watch Twister because I could somewhat tolerate it. The other 2, I guess Ice Twisters and then Sharknado. I guess. I mean, this is like if those are the only 3 videos left on Earth, and there has to be some form of entertainment or bathroom watching.
Ooh. See, and I think I would rank it Sharknado, Twister, Ice Twisters, Pacific Rim. Just say.
Wow!
Oh, whoa!
What? Throwing some massive Goku shade at Pacific Rim. That's
No, I'm just trolling a certain audience member. That's all
Okay.
that is at this point.
All right. Well, you know who you are. So thanks for your patronage, and thanks for helping to keep this show on the air. Please give us a thumbs up or a comment if you would, right underneath this video, because I know that you're probably watching it on our YouTube stream. So please give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. We don't call out anybody here, Farva. Never. We don't recognize any. No. But if you do want to be called out, as in like have a shout out, you could do that by buying us a beer at beerbluesbs.com. You just click the buy us a beer button, type a message, we can talk about it right here on the show and say thanks, person who bought us a beer. You get your shout out right there. beerbluesbs.com. Easy enough. Buy us a beer.
And we promise not to make it a passive-aggressive message about how you've stood us up for the past 24 episodes.
Like another individual from a certain landlocked state in the center of the country.
That also,
Chicago.
Yeah, that has a very famous university. Yep.
And does some NASCAR stuff usually around my birthday.
Yep.
But, it's not like we're really calling anybody out.
No, I don't see that one bit.
Not that it's been, 24 and a half weeks at this point, because, we switched our premiere days from Sunday to Friday to give you a little bit of an extra time, an extra 3 days. I mean, but whatever, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I think he already lost the race on this one. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him.
Oh man. Well, shoot. Well,
so before we move on to some of our topics that we were going to talk about and then have you join in on, is it any other topics that you want to discuss or bring about? Things from Grand Forks or anywhere else? Anything? Okay. It's really the Farva free for all right now.
Farva free for all.
You go.
Oh man. Oh. Something really interesting that I think is unique is what I currently do right now. We were kind of talking a little bit before the show started. Working a dog. I know Mark and I have talked over the last few years and telling them like some of the things I've found or gotten, but it's really interesting. What dogs can really do and how they're utilized to locate things and people.
Yeah. I grew up with dogs. In fact, I was out at the ranch tonight, and we had 4 dogs out there, to which Junior was happy. He was constantly, he kept picking up Nyla bones and kept like walking up to the individual dogs like, you want this? You want it? He just wanted one dog to take this Nyla bone out of his hand, and none of them were interested. But
let Junior play with Medora and just give him a Kong. He'll take it. He'll be good.
Yeah, it's all right. He was still having fun. He eventually found the bucket of balls and was throwing balls, and they were bringing them back. But my dad actually was at a hunting event that was supposed to have Senator Hoven, one of the North Dakota senators, there.
Oh, I remember he was governor back when I was in school.
Yeah, he's now a senator. And my dad was working as one of the guides for this event, and he's actually, my dad has been a guide for the current governor, Governor Doug Burgum, here a couple of times. And as my dad likes to put it, he goes, "The governor wouldn't remember me, but he knows my dogs." So my dad's trained some very it has some very well trained wire-haired pointing griffons. Which is an amazing skill set. But you work a canine unit, and those dogs are amazing in things they can do too.
They are but absolutely, just like you said. Your dad's like, oh, they don't know me, they know the dog. Same thing here. People don't know me, but they know my dog, and they see my dog. They're like, "Oh my gosh,"
Yeah. Clearly proving that dogs are better than cats.
They are. They absolutely are. Absolutely. But it's interesting because, it's how we exploit the dog's, internal workings to our benefit. I mean, just like
enhance, not exploit. Enhance.
Enhance. Enhance. Here, hold on.
Got caught up in the repeater for a second there.
Oh yeah. Littering and, but no, it's very interesting and how they're utilized. And I get her. I see over there laughing, and it's just you're gonna set me off laughing. But you know what? I would have to say it's a lot of fun. The only thing that sucks is when the dog's having a bad day and it leaves a present in the back. Not a fun time. And my dog, Mador, German Shepherd, cool, kick-ass dog. No points about it. I'll tell you a great thing about him. See, I was on it was about 2 years ago. I was on a vacation day. I was just seeing, at the time, she's now my wife, but she was just my, was it fiance or girlfriend? I can't remember. Anyway, I was just chilling over at her place, and I see on the local news that one of the hotels in our city is on fire, and it's turning into a giant shit show. So, me, of course, as we were just discussing about good work ethic, I call my supervisor, and I said, "Hey, I'm off, but do you need me to come in?" He goes, "Yeah, I would really appreciate it. I can go take up a spot to free an officer to go back on the street, and help out, right?" Well, as I'm sitting out there doing traffic control, let's just say a fast food chain that's right next door decided to get everyone that was there cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke. The police, fire, and EMS. So when they come to me, I get my stuff, I put it in my car real quick because I got to direct traffic. This dog of mine has an access panel to get to where I sit, like a pass through, between the front seat and the rear. Kid already knows where I'm going with this one. And this dog unlocks the door, finds the bag with the cheeseburger and the french fries, puts his nose in, unravels it, pulls the cheeseburger and the fries, takes it back, and then also finds a way to put the bag in a position where it doesn't look like it's been opened and shut the door. And a couple minutes later, I hop in the car. I'm like, cool, I can get a meal. I go in and go, where's my shit? And all of a sudden I hear in the back this. I turn on the cargo light that's in his kennel. I open the door, and there he is eating a cheeseburger and french fries, just totally on his back, paws up, having this blast. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. And this is the stuff I deal with every day. If I got jerky, I'll find it missing. And I have found them, and a couple times I will say, I'll be on like a call or a traffic stop, and then all of a sudden a siren will go off, and I take my flashlight and I put it in the driver's seat. What do I see? There's my canine partner sitting in my seat, and he put his paw on the steering wheel, setting off the siren. I was like, thanks, buddy. Hi, Dad. I'm here.
It's kind of like being married.
It is. 24/7, 365, I'm with this guy. It's I can tell you some of the things like that. You just got to go, where do they come up with this stuff? How do they do it? And my guy is a Houdini.
Yeah, dogs are always interesting, and they always do make for great stories. I have an old friend from way back in middle school, and one of his better stories was his parents drove a car that on the key fob, if you hit the button too many times, it would actually kind of do a da-da-da-da-da, just kind of one of those gimmicky things. And so they were walking to the car, and they had their golden retriever there. The golden retriever was sitting, of course, in the driver's seat, hands on the steering wheel, looking out. and they're hitting the button trying to get the car unlocked. Hits it too many times and it plays whatever the little jingle was, but some da-da-da-da. This old man happened to be walking by when this happened, and it just scared him. And he turns and he looks, and here's this golden retriever, sitting, looking out the window. And the old man turns to and goes, "Bad dog, bad dog." The dog had actually managed to push the button.
That's a bad dog.
To play song.
Sir.
My friend was laughing because, as I said, he was just down the aisle from the way. So, he saw it happen, and he's just it was hilarious to him. But, oh yeah, well, dogs are great.
They are. This guy, even when I first met him, because it's a weird process. I felt like I ordered a car. It was okay, Farvo, well, what kind of dog do you want? It was well, I want the German Shepherd model with this kind of coloring, and I want to have this. And you're like, okay, that's how it was. And no joke, I said, well, I want a male German Shepherd. I want to be very calm and cool because I actually do go into schools, particularly with a lot of kids. Don't want a dog that's going to get spun up. Well, they're like, okay, cool, we found him. And, I go to meet him for the, start of my course. They introduce you, hey, this is your dog. They go, here's Medor. And I go, hey, I noticed that all the other dogs have different collars than mine. They're all the same, but mine's different. It's really heavy duty. It's a metal buckle and all this other thing. And they go, yeah, your dog broke his collar, so we had to put something that basically is indestructible because he likes to destroy collars. And I was like, shit. And then, it was a month-long course that I went to learn how to work Medor and become a team. And on the weekends, we were free. It was off time. And my first week, because we won't go into it, but I had my pickup truck, my F-150 to have, and I needed to go home that weekend to actually get the canine car. I was like, finally, I get the canine car. Well, when I got back, the other handlers that were I was at school with, they tell me, and they said, yeah, hey, Medor broke out of the kennel over the weekend. I said, oh? They go, yeah, he broke out, he broke the metal lock, he came out, and then he sat by the front gate waiting for us in the morning to be fed. He just sat there waiting for all of us while the other dogs are spinning around doing shit. I was like, so what you're saying is my dog's a Houdini? They're like, yes, he is. He is special. I was like, that's my boy. And even one time, I go in, a daily thing in the morning and the evening when you go to the schoolhouse, as we call it, right? You have to hose down their run, feed them, change out their water, do all that stuff. As you know, Chris, that, it's a routine. All of a sudden, my partner in crime over here, my boy, starts nipping all over my tack pants. And I look to the instructor, who I'm friends with, and but at the time he's just the instructor. I said, "Hey, why is my dog nipping at me around my legs? What's up with that?" And he goes, "He thinks you got ticks on you, so he loves you. He's trying to get the ticks off you." And I was like, "Well, that's cool. I'm glad we're bonding, but what makes you think I got ticks on me?" Seriously, what the hell, This dog. Like I said, just crazy, stupid shenanigans. Oh. And the Farvettes, by the way, the kiddos, taught him how to sleep on the couch in the bed. And yes, and I know Kidder has seen pictures of some of the busts I've made, with showing the money shot as it is. And you've probably seen some photos of Medor, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
100-pound German Shepherd. He's not tiny. He's big. I was laying on the couch one time taking a nap. All of a sudden, I felt the 100-pound weight jumping on my chest and on my legs. What do I see? My partner trying to become a lap dog. 100 pounds, and he's just all like, and I'm like, thanks, thank you. But I'll tell you, it's fun. I enjoy it. I probably could do it for the remainder of my working career, but a lot of stories that probably not appropriate for the channel.
It's like one of the dogs that that I got to work with as well. Just a quick shout out because she was a crazy mofo, and
let me guess, some Malinois? Was it a Malinois?
A German Shepherd, actually. That was one of the last German Shepherds before they switched to the Malinois. But she was extremely high strung, and we're all BSing at the end of the day, and we were out at Public Works to getting gas and stuff, and all talking. They're throwing the tennis ball around. It was like her favorite tennis ball, right?
Yeah.
And she brings it over to me and drops it, and I'm like, okay. So and they're like, yeah, just go and throw it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to reach it. She's nuts. But I picked it up, tossed it, and they're like, yeah, she likes it. Well, I'm glad because she didn't bite my arm off.
You're like, gee, thanks.
Yeah, like I appreciate that. And then, of course, my hand was like in dog slobber. So just wipe it on the grass and whatever.
That's just normal. Hey, I had a dog that I took the bites because that's one of the things I do during training is I'm called the decoy. So I'll take the bites, I get that armored sleeve on, and this dog will bite through it. Actually bit through a sleeve one time, got into my arm, and no joke, my training partners are laughing. They're videotaping me getting bit through, and I'm like, oh my God, it's biting me. It's really biting me. It's hurting. I'm like flailing like a little schoolgirl, and they're just laughing. They are laughing and videotaping this, and
this no joke for the Christmas video.
It was excellent. Actually, I want to say my best man and one of my groomsmen in my wedding. The wedding number I can't remember, but it wasn't the one that we're all familiar with.
Fingers up.
Hey, you gotta make fun of yourself at some point, right?
Welcome
to the show where you can just make fun of yourself and make people laugh.
Good company.
Oh, absolutely. He was my best man. He brought that up at the wedding. He goes, and here's Farva being like a little schoolgirl. But no joke, that dog, bites the sleeve, bites me. If I'm not wearing that sleeve, it sits on my lap and licks me to death. I'm like, go figure, Go figure.
No, my dad had one dog that was it was a Chesapeake Bay Retriever, and they were out pheasant hunting first opening weekend in South Dakota, and first walk, and this dog, in trying to clear a barbed wire fence, actually caught the barbed wire and actually just split its stomach open. And they immediately rushed it to the vet. The vet stitched it up, and it's like, this dog's done. No more hunting. It's done. And so my dad's like, well, okay, so I'll leave it in the car and we'll just hunt, and that. So, because they wanted to at least finish that, the day.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those things, like they had just gotten there. They were like, well, we might as well finish. So they leave the dog in the car, in the kennel with the front windows, halfway rolled down as they walked this field. And the first time they flush birds and somebody shoots, all of a sudden here comes this damn dog running across the field to make the retrieve. It had somehow opened its kennel, climbed out, crawled all the way to the front, climbed out of the half open window, jumped out of the Suburban, and then proceeded to run across the field to make the retrieve. I mean,
hey, that's
like, shit, we're hunting it the rest of the day.
Hey, the working dogs truly do not know anything other than work. I'm sure your dad would have the same thing. He's like, yep, I've seen dogs do some pretty stupid things, but when they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, it's kind of, you take a step back and go, wow.
Yeah. Kidder has an incredible work ethic. I mean, he talked about having 3 jobs in college and such. I mean, I think that there's that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't do a lick on this show, but it is.
Dang.
I kid. I felt like we were getting a little too serious. We need some comedy. So
Sorry. I didn't mean to be serious.
All right. So since you brought it up, I'm going to take a moment here.
Oh no.
And I'm going to show you some work, you dirty bastard, because you need to see. You need to see what is now available. It was previewed, but now you get to see it right here. There it is. Brand new design, available now. BeerBluesBS.com. Yes, don't drink in stairs, folks. There it is, live and living color. You too can have the BeerBluesBS.com and Beer Blues BS apparel right there for you. Some good advice. Look at this. Pretty much every color available. There's a good Sioux green for you. Perhaps you'd like the traditional Sioux pink or white. There it is. UND colors represented. Or the, shall we say, what would the word be? I'm looking for a word here. Basically, the honorary official color for UND, black. There it is. So, beerbluesbs.com. Click on merch.
There you go.
Yeah, I did something for this show, damn it. Now go buy the shirts or the glasses or something.
I just want to throw out that was my design that Kidder felt the need to tweak. So,
and if you look, I just didn't tweak it. I used both of them.
I did that. I sent him just a plain black outline and a plain white one, and he put them together. So it has more dimensions. So that's Kidder having to go in and fix my stuff, which I'm a little disappointed, Kidder. For those who have been following on Facebook, there's been a little bit of nitpicking back and forth between Kidder and I because
no nitpicking. What kind of shit is that?
Well, I'm just saying, there's these little digs that we've been taking at each other because we had the preview for the episode that launched tonight come out on Thursday. And in it, I confessed about my not being great at social media and coming up with hashtags. And I made a joke about putting a hashtag in that said, Kidder will fix this. And I did that, to which Kidder responded with, hashtag, I'm not fixing this. And I made a responded with, Kidder, please fix it, or something along those lines. So there's been some back and forth about
it's not a dig, just said I'm not going to fix it. More of a proclamation. I do declare this hashtag stays the same.
We'll see. There might be future hashtags, Kidder. We'll see.
Going full asshole.
Hey, don't worry, Howard. I'm not good at social media either. That's why I don't really have much of it. So you're good.
Yeah, I often say I wouldn't have social media if it wasn't for my job right now.
Yeah. Especially Oscar Zero. That's on my bucket list.
You got to come up and see it, man. It's a cool site.
You got to get the Huey up there, man. You got to get the Huey up there.
We're working on it. We just got kind of some of the first shipping quotes, and we're got to try to figure out how to swing it, but we're trying. We're trying. My site supervisor's like, I could take the site truck and our flatbed, and I can get so much of it on, but I need permits, unfortunately, for most of it, so we're going to have to... Like, we're trying. Yeah, no, it is a super cool site. And I'm going to say this, my site supervisor there, I mean, one, he makes Cold War history just fascinating. If you're following his Facebook site, it's fascinating. I'm gonna say this. Actually, today was our big site summit. We had all of our site supervisors in, and my site supervisor, Rob, he wrote a book, and actually after our site summit, he's driving to Nebraska, where he's from, because he won an award for best nonfiction military.
Oh, wow.
Nebraska Historical Society. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to introduce you now as award-winning author. And he chuckled at it, thinking, this is Howard making a little joke.
Yeah.
And one of the parts of our site summit is we do a big sites and review. We invite kind of the rest of the agency to come in and hear what sites did over the summer. And when his turn came up, I beat him to the podium, and I'm like, I joked that I told Rob I was going to do this. And I think he thought I was joking, but and you could just see him go, oh no. And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. The site supervisor of Ronald Reagan Man-to-Man Missile Site, Rob Branting, and I should add, best-selling author. And he's just like, oh. And he had to come down. He's like, guys, it's just an award from the Nebraska State Historical Society. It's not. And he's kind of justifying why it shouldn't be a big deal. And then he realized that he hadn't done he's got a very traditional, if you've ever watched any of the videos from Oscar Zero, he's kind of got a very traditional intro. So he's like, I realized I didn't say who I was, and he's like, I'm Rob, and I'm the site supervisor of the Ronald Reagan Man-to-Man Missile Site, which is made up of Oscar Zero and November 33. And our executive director, who was sitting in on the meeting, and he's in the second row, just yells out, and award-winning author. So I just say it's a great site, and it's such a cool thing to go 50 feet underground and be it feels like you're from the whole moment you walk into that site, it feels like you're walking into a time capsule, and then go underground. It's just incredible.
Well, I actually enjoy the Cold War. The Cold War to me is interesting because the massive military buildup and the fact that designs and weapons and theories on both sides of the curtain, on mutually assured destruction, which eventually ended with Soviet Union going bust and dissolving, which strangely enough feels like it's coming back, but that's the Russian bear for you. He absolutely, you're right, he sells the Cold War. Like, you listen to it, you're like, I want to know more. It's almost like the was it Starship Troopers? If you want to know more, press now. It's like you want to, you want to hear more.
Do you want to know more?
More?
Oh yeah, and he's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
and it's worth if you go on that Facebook page and you dig deep enough. There are some just great comedic videos he has put out. One of my favorite ones is one where he posts, he's like, I felt it was, he's like, brave, intrepid explorer at our site decided to climb Mount Sundalov. And here he is. It was the snow pile from where he had plowed, all winter. And also you see him just kind of run up, and he's got a little American flag, and he gets about halfway up, and you just see him reach up and just like, and it's just funny. There's that one. There's another one that he released, which was a blooper from a video where he was talking over by the escape hatch, and as he was talking, he caught, as he was looking at the camera, that the way he had his hand was creating a shadow of a bunny. On, and so he like stops his head. So also you just see him go.
Oh man,
it's very much worth it. And if you have any sort of interest, or even if you don't have interest in the Cold War, go check out that Facebook page. They're doing some amazing stuff.
I'll tell you what, Howard. Based on what you were saying, I actually went in on the Facebook page and not only liked it but watched his videos. Truly a showman. Right there. Interesting. And actually, I'm already thinking next summer. I was like, I'm planning to make a road trip. Maybe swing on up the old I-29 to I-94 and kind of kitty corner my way up to Oscar Zero.
In one of the episodes that's, I think, just coming out. Anyway, Kidder and I have been talking about doing a road trip up there, so maybe it has to be the three of us and go enjoy that and such. That could be a lot of fun.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it'd be great. It'd relive all the old memories of us three being silly, hilarious, and all of our shenanigans.
Yes. Yes. That very much would be a lot of fun.
Well, what are we gonna talk about next, gents?
Well, this next topic is one that Kidder put down, and Kidder tread lightly. Tread lightly. Because I will end you.
And why would I?
Because
He likes it shaken, not stirred.
Because I haven't seen the new Bond movie. I know you have. If you spoil this, I mean, I have only seen like the first trailer. I know nothing. So tread carefully. You ruined this movie for me. I will tell you this, Kidder. We were up in Grand Forks this last weekend, and my brother-in-law called my father-in-law as we were in the hotel room after the game, and starts talking about it because he went and saw it, and my wife beat me to it. It's like, hey, because my father-in-law had it on speakerphone because we were trying to settle into the hey, some of us haven't seen this. Don't talk about it. And he just kept talking. My father-in-law eventually had to turn it off speaker. So at
least he did that. And like I said, I was going to give you the rundown of this in a non-spoiler way because, like you, I'm the same way where I don't even a lot of times want to see the trailers for these movies because I want to go into the movie and experience the movie for what it's worth. Same thing with sitting through the previews, enjoying my damn overpriced popcorn and my overpriced icy or Coke, and just have a good time of it. But I felt that it's necessary and timely because all these posts and reviews are, it's Daniel Craig's best as Bond, and it's his last film. And I feel that I have a duty as a co-host on a podcast with our tens and tens of followers to make sure that I share my non-spoiler opinion on this movie. So, I don't want to lead you into the whole premise of you're going to love this, you're going to hate this, because you can make up your own mind on your movie, and I don't want to sway your opinion one way or another. What I will say about this movie is, number one, there are some wonderful moments in this movie that are Bond, which I appreciate. In fact, in the theater, I was giggling out of excitement because it is James Bond. The other part, there's a lot of stuff that I hated about this movie. I don't want to go into specifics because you will see them during the movie. And it's possible that once you see it, you'll be like, I don't like that either. Or you might like it. Again, being as generic. Farva, have you seen the new movie, No Time to Die?
No, and I want to see it, but okay. I have read some of the reviews for it, and I've seen kind of what you're talking about, where there's some moments that are really awesome, and some that just make you wonder. And
I love this because he's treading more onto the deep water than I am. What I love, I don't love about this, but I do love about it at the same time, is that you watching the YouTube version of this cannot see the faces that Howard is making right now, because he's got this shit-eating grin on his face, like, you're right there, you're gonna say something, you're almost saying too much.
Hey, I think I tread the line perfectly there, Howard. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm just giving both of you the stink eye as you're talking about.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you haven't followed, Kidder had posted that he had gone and seen the movie, and somebody had asked him, like, hey, and he's like, I'll give my opinion on Beer, Blues, and BS, and I immediately hopped on with the comments like, no spoilers. So, yeah.
Verified. That's true. That's truth,
and it wasn't even on the Beer, Blues, BS page on Facebook, which you can click the thumbs up on.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked about two of the main points. Again, real high for me and kind of a low. there's some nice moments in there, but there's some very unnecessary pieces in the movie, both writing and characteristics that just didn't need to be in there. And then the ending. Not a fan. Just in the overall sense of it, of a movie and a Bond movie from the traditional movies throughout the franchise. So overall, I did not like the movie. Like, there were some great moments in it that I really enjoyed, but the overall movie, I did not like. And frankly, I'll just pretend that it didn't exist, and I won't buy it. I have the Daniel Craig collection in my collection, and that's the Daniel Craig collection. This was just a movie with Daniel Craig in it. So, out of like 1 to 5, just because there were great moments in it, 2.5.
At least you're being fair.
I mean, like I said, there were moments, and I know Howard's gonna watch this, and he's gonna pick them out. He's like, this is one of the moments Kidders was talking about. Just awesome.
He will, because
moments.
Well, he will, because I mean, Howard's a big James Bond fan, and I know. In fact, I remember this discussion the three of us had in 2010, right before, 2007, right before I left for the airlines. I remember we talked about this, and if I remember correctly, Howard stated his favorite Bond was Timothy Dalton. Was that one of your...
I would,
because he was more to the book, right?
He is more to the book, and so I do enjoy Timothy Dalton's take on it. He unfortunately had two of the
crappiest movies.
Well, the problem was that he was coming off of the Roger Moore run, and so Roger Moore's run was extremely campy, right? That's campy Bond,
Yeah, but Moonraker was awesome. I'm not going to lie.
I enjoy the camp of the Roger Moore run. Like, you just have to accept that this is going to be camp, and you just need to enjoy it for that. It's like watching the old Adam West Batman. It's camp. You're going for kind of just this lighthearted kind of feel with it, and that was kind of Roger Moore's run, and Timothy Dalton kind of took it up to the next level, and when they switched to him, then they tried to go really realistic and darker, and it didn't, like, it was too much of a shift.
Well, I think had Timothy Dalton, same age, but had he been done kind of when Daniel Craig started, he probably would have been more successful, I think, on a box office realm. Because if you look at Daniel Craig from Casino Royale, and we won't put No Time to Die, we'll just stop it where, the before. Daniel Craig definitely had the depth of a dark, grittier Bond. He wasn't that campy, Pierce Brosnan, joke-filled, sex-filled thing. Nothing saying is wrong with it, because Goldeneye is still one of my favorite Bond films of all times.
Well, Pierce Brosnan kind of was the bridge. It's almost you needed that, right?
Yeah.
Brosnan kind of was. It still had that camp of Moore, but a bit more serious, and it kind of allowed us to get darker. I think if you would have switched like Brosnan with Dalton's run, I think Dalton could have been a success if you gave him the right story too. Because
I agree. I think had Dalton done Goldeneye, I think he would have been real successful. But and like I said, I remember the three of us having this conversation, listing out our favorite Bonds and all that. I remember we used to remember when we had the game nights when we played Apple to Apples? I remember how I was banned from using the Create Your Own card. Remember that? Yeah. Yep. But I remember during those same game nights, we also talked about the Bond series, and, from what I've read review-wise, Daniel Craig, I mean, he's going to go down as a good Bond. He played a good Bond, but the reviews have been so mixed on No Time to Die. And I'll wait till I see it to give it my own impression. But if it's true with what Kidder's saying, which I have no doubt it is, we're going to see it and go, yep, that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't fit to the normal Bond persona.
Yeah.
And Daniel Craig is an executive producer on the movie, just so there's that piece of information. So he had, I'm guessing, at least moderate input into the movie overall.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it takes kind of the right hand, I think, to handle Bond, because for the most part in the Bond movie franchise, Bond is not a character that has story arc whatsoever. He's the same guy from day one through. And the only time that they've ever really done story arc was when they did on Her Majesty's Secret Service, where they actually gave Bond a wife and killed her off. And I don't care that that's a spoiler, because my God, that movie is old.
Yeah. God.
My God, that movie's old. What was that? The 70s?
George wasn't that George Lazenby too?
Yes, the one guy who was so bad that Sean Connery came back to the role
out of retirement.
He came back and did Diamonds Are Forever. Yeah.
I say, Money Penny, I had to kill the old Bond to make way for me. Yeah, I mean, so that was a bit of a story arc, but really they didn't. You can watch Bond movies in any order for the most part, and it doesn't matter until you get to the Daniel Craig run, and then they tie in, and there's a story, and it progresses a bit, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but I mean, I'm glad that Craig came back for one more movie, but I was kind of also okay with Spectre being his last.
Yeah.
It felt like they had finished it. It felt like this was a money grab.
Oh, I could agree, but the one thing in the previous, Spectre, they showed the old MI6 building that was blown up during the Pierce Brosnan days, and I'm just kind of like, why would we tie into that? Because now it's almost the time parallel. We're starting to do Star Trek stuff here. We're starting to go back in a time that didn't exist, and technically James Bond would have been the Pierce Brosnan based on the age. So I'm with you. I think No Time to Die might have been just more a money grab. I'll still sit and watch it, give it a fair, unbiased view. But if it's truly got a couple of great Bond moments, but then more of a unnecessary story, or just things that aren't really part of the Bond persona of films, it's gonna round out the series with just negativity.
Yeah. Right. And
so
I think it's I was gonna just say I think part of that is you get new people writing and directing Bond, and maybe they don't have quite that nostalgia or that same love and passion of it, and so we'll change this, we'll add this, we could do this tone, and not realize that's kind of out of line for this series.
So the one extra piece with No Time to Die is there are continuations from the previous Craig movies, so it does tie into the overall arc of Daniel Craig's tenure as James Bond since Casino Royale, callbacks to Casino Royale.
Right.
So that, without it being a spoiler and things, whatever. So that's something else I enjoyed, to bring in extra pieces to those other movies. And yes, to your point, Spectre, I do feel was a nice wrap up of the Craig series. This one, had it been written differently and tying in those pieces with the rest of them, would have been a great way to finalize Daniel Craig's tenure as James Bond. But again, the issues I have is like when you go to a movie, it's any movie, and you're sitting there and you're watching the dialogue between people, and you have that feeling inside, you're like, this is unnecessary. Why do I want to get invested in this? Why do I care about this? What is this person doing here? And the overall, for the script, for the story, I'm not vested in this person. Like, I don't give two craps about it. In fact, somebody that I used to work with, we had a show, called this movie a woke piece of garbage. So, I mean, that person's take is completely different than what I'm going through. And I saw that before I went, and I'm like, oh great, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's still worth a watch. Go watch it. I don't want to spoil any of it. I want to have this discussion after you've seen it, because then we can specifically pick apart pieces of the movie that you thought were great and pieces that are garbage and really go from there. But I do have to say, with the Bonds over time, I do enjoy Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. Finally getting into the Daniel Craig series, if you will, of the Bond movies, and really enjoying his portrayal of Bond, James Bond.
And Craig's definitely working himself into going down as one of the better Bonds that have been portrayed. I still am kind of with Chris. I like Timothy Dalton, and I like Pierce Brosnan. I mean, Goldeneye is still my number one. Like, if I were to rank Bond films to watch, Goldeneye is number one.
Howard has something to say about that.
Oh, I know. He's going to tell me it's bad, and I know.
No,
but
I think Goldeneye is a fine film for a Bond movie.
And the game was fantastic.
Oh God! I still play that game when the girls come to visit. We play Nintendo 64. We're playing Goldeneye. Golden Gun only.
I was big on Goldeneye until Perfect Dark came around, and that
Perfect Dark was a good game.
We were awesome at that game.
Laptop gun.
Howard and I played the shit out of that game and unlocked the secret character Elvis, stuff like that, so you can play as Elvis. I mean, we probably put in months on that game.
You want to know? Here's a fun side story with that, Kidder, because I have Perfect Dark on my Xbox. And for a while, I was living with Shuey when I was living in Dickinson, and we were playing Perfect Dark, and he wanted to play Counter Operative. So Perfect Dark came with the Counter Operative mode, where one person played as the main hero, Joanna Dark, but the other person plays as the bad guys in the level and tries to kill Joanna Dark. He may have rage quit on that one.
Bad move. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of how he probably had a clue of how, with all of our training for that game or Halo, that you never play against us. And that's where the Unholy Alliance came from, the UA, which this is a UA production, the Unholy Alliance, because the two of us, as in Howard and I, always had to be brothers or on the same team. Because if we were on opposite teams, or if it was a free-for-all, nobody scored. Everybody's score was shit. If we were on the same team, we would cream everybody. Because if one of us, we would always make side pacts, basically like, it's fine. You don't kill me, I don't kill you, and then we just went our separate ways. We stay away from each other, and then he'd accidentally snipe me from across the map, or I'd accidentally rocket at him from. He's like, "Oh, it's on now!" Like, oh shit, So then the two of us, we wouldn't care about anybody else. If somebody popped up in front of us, but then we'd go to the next, and we'd look around the corner, we'd find each other and kill each other, and then spawn and find each other, kill each other, find each other, kill. I mean, it was just a spiral, infinite spiral.
Yeah.
So,
well, and actually, yeah, the UA formed the same time I got the Howard nickname, because it was at the same LAN party in your basement. And it was, Kidder and I just kept killing each other. And eventually it's like, hey, pact, I won't kill you, you don't kill me. Yeah. That was all bad.
Turned on everybody else, and the rest is history. Kept cleaning up the competition.
We've been the UA ever since. So now people know the origin behind the Unholy Alliance, as we have dubbed ourselves. And we still use that as a gamer tag with clans and such. So
the other fun fact before we move on, because we were talking about Bond and the history of Bond, is, and I know I'm calling him out a little bit, he's a little bit rusty, but Howard can name, at least used to be able to name, every song and every theme song for every movie in order.
I don't know if I have ever done it in order. I used to be able to recognize them after like the first, like what you would call the measure of the song. Like you could start playing it, and I could sit there and tell you, oh, here's the song, here's the movie, here's who sang it. I don't know if I probably am a little bit rustier when I get up to the Daniel Craig movies. Casino Royale had a banger of a good one. Quantum of Solace was pretty good too.
Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell sang the Casino Royale, and then Adele had the. Was it Spectre?
No,
it wasn't Spectre. It was Quantum of
Skyfall.
Solace. Skyfall. That's right.
Skyfall.
Yeah, she was Skyfall.
Quantum of Solace was. What's his name? From the White Stripes.
Jack White.
Yes. But I'm trying to remember. I think it was him and Alicia Keys. And they got knocked. People really didn't like that one. But if you're a Bond fan, and if you know the classic Bond theme, this was a true deconstruction of the Bond theme. It was, as I said, still one of my favorite ones that they ever did. Yeah, no, that used to be a real talent. And I could go further. I used to be able to tell you who the henchmen were, who the villain was, who the Bond girl was.
Hey, come on, Odd Job, best Bond villain character ever.
No, disagree.
No, I know.
He's amazing in Goldfinger, but it's got to be Jaws.
Jaws is awesome. Andre the Giant playing Jaws.
It wasn't actually Andre the Giant.
I thought he was Andre the Giant.
No, it's what's his name? I want to say it's Richard Klein, but no, it wasn't Andre the Giant.
Richard Kyle.
Richard Kyle. There we go.
Yeah, Richard Kyle. Close.
Yeah, he's also in Happy Gilmore as well.
He was. That's right, where he got the nail in the head. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, so Jaws was always a personal favorite of mine. I also like Baron Samedi, a great one.
Jaws is a good one. I liked how they kept using him, and it's particularly in the Roger Moore films.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare for a henchman to get used in two films. He was. Of course, you could kind of argue that The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker pretty much the same movie, you know. Very much.
Yeah, very similar. I'll let you have that. I like the shuttle laser, the Moonraker lasers. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, best weapon in any of the games too, if you can get hold of them.
Hey,
dual wielding the Moonraker lasers. I'd always piss off people that I played with.
Hey, don't forget the golden gun though. The dual wielding golden guns are pretty badass too.
I'd piss people off with that too. Right, Jake? Stop sitting in the corner in the back of the facility. Yeah, but I'm killing everybody. I know. Stop it.
Oh gosh.
Well, since we are talking a little bit about games, Kidder, I see you have put a whole block of text about Grand Theft Auto. So
I thought it was worthy of sharing because the information came out today, and by the time this airs, the game will basically be available for digital download. So it's kind of like a preview of sorts. So basically, there's been the rumors have been flying. It's just rumoring all over the place about a remastered GTA Trilogy. And by the trilogy, we mean GTA 4, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Ooh.
Which, a fantastic trilogy. And San Andreas, really my favorite of the GTA games so far. Vice City being a close second because of the soundtrack.
Yes, I'll agree. The soundtrack to Vice City is the best.
Mm-hmm. So the rumors have been floating around, and people who are into not quite hacking, but we'll just say programming, have been finding these little morsels of advertising in code for Rockstar's launcher for GTA 5. Because they've been watching for clues for GTA 6, which is still, who knows what's happening with that. So they've been finding clues, and they thought it was GTA 6. No, it is the semi-remastered GTA Trilogy that, like I said, includes GTA 3, I guess, not 4. So my clarification on that. GTA Vice City and San Andreas, which this trilogy is the same trilogy that was released for Xbox back in the day, as they were originally programmed for the PlayStation family. Now, this being remastered will be released, the digital version, November 11th, so Veterans Day. You can download this onto your console. It's on pretty much every console that's out right now. Next gen and last gen, and on top of it, downloaded for phone, Nintendo, it's all over the place. But cool, $59.99 for these 3 games. They're according to this leak of the information that's been found, is containing some updated graphics for the next gen consoles, but it also mentions new lighting, because technology has advanced a lot since these games came out. Environment upgrades, which I'm guessing that they retextured pretty much everything and made it look hopefully as good as it can be. The draw distances, which you always remember were terrible in the old games because of the limitations. You have 5 stars and you're blowing up all of these cars coming at you, but you can only see half a block, and then they magically appear in the street and then come driving towards you and you blow them up. Yeah, it's increasing the draw distance on it. And then targeting and controls similar to GTA 5 to fit today's controllers versus the older controllers from back in the day. Physical version, so if you want the actual disc for these games, will be out until December 7th. Again, speculation is that the discs aren't ready, or they're still programming the game, or they're just making people wait who have terrible internet. Couple different things. But even though Battlefield 2042 is coming out around the same time, I will still be picking this up, because trying to play the original Xbox version of San Andreas on the current gen looks absolutely horrible. Like, terrible. Almost unplayable. So,
well, funny you mentioned about Rockstar Games there, Kidder, and maybe I can help you out. You guys remember my middle brother? Remember him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where he works.
He works at Rockstar, huh?
He does. He works at Rockstar, and he's a programmer.
So you're saying that this individual that we have some firsthand relations with might be able to tell us with GTA 5, the current latest version of GTA that is out, as to how we can make these police mods that are out and available integrated into the game so then you don't have to hack the game. Huh?
I'm with you. I mean, I love GTA 5's map. I just wish it was bigger, to be more spread out, kind of like the GTA San Andreas. And I'm with you. To be able to get these modifications done without having to hack the game and do all these, different coding in the background to actually make things play through. But, since you brought up Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar Games, I'll go bother my brother, and I'll go see what I can drag up for you. But I will tell you this. I'm assuming you both like Red Dead Redemption, right?
Yep.
You do? Have you played the second one?
I haven't. Peter can tell you I'm way behind on my gaming.
I know. No worries.
I haven't.
Well, he's listed on the credits, and he's very proud of that. So
You should be proud of that.
He is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I know that he really likes Rockstar because he just bought a really nice house out there. So I'm pretty sure he's going to stay there for the long term.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of people who wish to be in that industry, so you can't blame him if he gets in, and it's a good company, and he's enjoying working for them, but he wants to stay. I mean,
absolutely no. He is. He enjoys the company, but I'll tell you what. It took a long time for him to get there because he went from working at a mortgage company to Vegas.com, which is like a big casino-owned website that helps you get travel and shows and all that. If it weren't for that, he would not have gotten Rockstar.
No, it'll be interesting. I probably won't pick this up just because I don't have time to play it.
Just for the clarification of what I was discussing as well. This is a piece of the mod, right? One of the mods, so you can see the custom textures, the ability to play as law enforcement and enforce laws and do that guy just kind of warped out of nowhere, things like that. So, like, look at the high quality textures, that Dodge Charger, California Highway Patrol model, and all even the 2020 Ford Police Interceptor right there. Look at that.
Well, and not to mention the stuff,
quality lights.
Oh, not to mention the fact that they can create their own the own scheme of these cars, and the lighting and how that sets up. I mean, these people have really gone in and truly set up things that are far beyond what the original programming of the game. I mean, they've gone so far. I mean, Mark, you would laugh. I'm sure you've seen it, where they actually have the Stalker radar unit producing head actually getting the radar like it would actually be in a real car.
Yeah, so you can get the speed of vehicles coming toward you or away
from you, yeah,
front or behind,
with the actual sounds, which is even more awesome, but also concerning.
kind of creepy. I mean,
I know
people who are like programmers, but they've never been a cop, so they like, okay.
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
Hey, even their CAD program that they put in there where they can run things. I mean, they really go all out. I watch this stuff and I'm like, okay. You have whoever's giving you the technical data for that is really good.
Yeah, and I just liked it, and I haven't, I don't want to say cracked, but I haven't sat down and spent time with GTA 5 like I did with GTA 4. But I had GTA 4 fully outfitted like this with, current vehicles and light patterns and things. And I'd stop cars, get pursuits, and that sort of thing. But
I loved GTA 4 because it has, the New York City vibe and then New Jersey. Across the river, and it's like a dump, which is, I think, hilarious. It's like, wow, tell us how you really feel, Rockstar. But Yeah, I think if they truly got the there you go. If they truly got the graphics of a 4 or 5 on the 3 series, that'd be awesome.
So that, like you were talking with the radar in the corner, and this is a 2020 Police Interceptor utility from Ford with the internal light packages. I don't know what that bus is, but
it's party bus.
There's too much party for this channel, so we better close out on that. So, yeah, it's something that I wish it was a little bit more integrated, or at least more realistic lighting patterns and things like that. So you don't have to worry about licensing for Ford or Chevy or Dodge, or Stalker.
Stalker. Watch MPH. Someone will get an old MPH unit head.
That's all we need.
Oh,
but we'll see how that goes, and I mean it'll be also exciting if your bro shares any little tidbits with us, and
I'll hit him up and see what he can give, and I'll pass it along, or we invite me back, whatever works for y'all.
Yeah, sounds good. I think Howard's good to have you back, huh?
Yeah, of course.
I like being here.
Looking for more than that, that's the simple answer. But yeah,
no, I'm good.
It didn't even switch back to him. That's how much the system didn't even believe him. Okay, well, I can see it in his face. He truly wants to have Farva back, so I'm just making up for the system's lack of caring to see Howard's facial expressions. The last thing that I wanted to just touch on is I got a care package in the mail finally, and it's from a band that I have known for many years, premiered their tracks on terrestrial radio, also named that track with their blessing, and then got an album credit for it as well. But the band, Another Lost Year, and got this nice signed little, I don't want to call it a poster, but it's kind of like poster card with the Alien Architect design, which is this album right here, which I had already. In fact, each of these albums I basically had, but it was a special collector's edition type package that they came out with. Now, this album, The Other Side, or The Revolution, The Other Side, Part 1, this is actually the album that I got a credit on, the EP. So the end of You and I, right there, track number 2, is the track that I named when I debuted it on terrestrial radio back in, it would have been, well, this one's dated 2021. So it would have been, I think, 2013, if I remember correctly. And aside from that, the cool story with that is they were standing on a beach of the Gulf Coast in Mississippi, I believe they were, listening to the app of my live stream debuting their track, where another band that I know was recording their reaction of listening to my live stream of me debut. Yeah, so it's a cool thing if you can dig it up on the interwebs. Then part 2, The Revolution, The Long Way Home. Here's some more tracks. This one also was assisted by Jose Urquiza of the band 3 Years Hollow. So another cool album there, number 2. And then previously unreleased in the physical form, The Revolution Part 3, which has Wisconsin on it. Got some more great tracks. This one was originally a digital release. So there you go with the back of that guy. So I was happy to see that pop up in my mailbox this past week. And then, like I said, the fancy little card right here, which has the signature on it in nice silver, and then on the backside has all of those albums, and then the October 29th release date, which is the new album For the King, which I got a an exclusive pre-listen to the first single that'll be released off of that brand new album, and it's a banger. So big thanks to Clinton Keenanen, lead singer of Another Lost Year, and all the dudes in the band for kicking ass. And hopefully he sees this and wants to join us and tell us all about our shenanigans over the years and the new music they're working on. But that's that.
Excellent.
Well, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and so I think it's time that we wrap this thing up.
Say it ain't so.
I think it's time for a classic Kidder's Cheap Plugs segment. The part of the show where Howard tunes out for a bit.
Oh, man. All right. Well, say this is so, then. Liking us on Facebook, facebook.com/beerbluesbs, or just go to Facebook and click the thumbs up when you search Beer Blues BS. How about an even easier way to find our Facebook page, our YouTube page, our Podbean account, all over the place with all of our audio versions, because they're on everywhere. beerbluesbs.com. That's our website, beerbluesbs.com. It's also in the show notes. For those of you listening to the audio version, you can follow the show right there on the website. You can also click the merch tab, check out some sweet swag at your earliest convenience, and get the links to our YouTube page. Also, while you're there, you could take a look at contacting us, a little bit history of the show, and think about buying us a beer, or even sponsor us. You want to sponsor this little podcast? You can certainly do that by contacting us at beerbluesbs.com. As I mentioned, we are all over the place on all of the podcast places that you might have access to, including Google Podcasts, Google Play, Apple Podcasts on the iOS system, which includes iTunes. We're also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, and Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, and Player FM. So again, we are all over the place. While you're looking around on Spotify, you can even find my playlist, The Killer Kidder Show. It's basically like what my show was when it was on the radio, but right there on your phone, and you can listen to the show right on there. It's like 280 hours of music or some silly number. I mean, it'll basically get you through the next 3 months of your life if you listen 24 hours a day. So it's right there on Spotify. I know what Farva's going to be doing the next 6 months.
Yep, I'm going to listen to that at work.
Of course, that is between listening to this show, which you can subscribe to and get those alerts. And by subscribe to, I mean just clicking the button and then you're like a fan of us. You don't actually have to pay to subscribe or like any of these. So it's a free service to you, our entertainment. So take us with you, please, in the video or audio version right there on Spotify as well. Get the notifications for our brand new show each week, which I did this week. It's awesome. So please check us out there. And like I said earlier in the show, we have some new merch, so you can check out the merch store. And if there's something that you want to purchase, that's okay. Just go ahead and click the add to cart. Get some sweet threads and show off your Beer Blues BS love, because we would love for you to do that. Aside from that, we really appreciate you joining us. Big thanks to Farva, the gentleman from Nevada, winning the competition for the content, like 24, what did you say, 24 week, Howard?
Yeah.
It's been 24 weeks since we started this.
Well, 24 weeks since we invited the gentleman from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Farva got back to us in the episode where we invited Farva came out last week, and he came on almost immediately after that. So
yeah, it's like somebody's actually excited to have fun with us.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 1 week turnaround. It's going to seem longer to the audience because time warp of editing, but yeah, it was like a 1 week turnaround.
But in the realistic thing, by the time I saw the Magnum episode, and remembering how much of a contact I got from that shirt. I messaged
everybody
y'all.
else did it at every bar we went to.
They did. They did. Heck, I was even talking about it at work. I was like, "You're not going to believe this." I totally forgot, and I got reminded. But no, I came
Now
on
it's online forever
and ever and ever and ever. No, it's been a pleasure. To be honest, I look to it as it's just hanging out with two of my good buds that I miss and wish I lived closer to y'all so we can physically hang out more often than where it's been.
Well, we'll make it happen sooner rather than later, and
absolutely,
even if it's virtually like this, we'll have you on the show again, and we can have some more beverages and more discussions about more shenanigans, because evil shenanigans, as it were.
I'm gonna pistol whip the next guy says.
Hey,
God,
what's the place down the street with all the goofy shit on the walls? Has the free mozzarella sticks?
Oh, you mean shenanigans? Oh.
I don't have my pistol down here, so I can't try and hand it to you. But yes, it's there. So
God.
with that, a couple more laughs in the tank, and we'll catch up with Farva again down the road, as it were. So really appreciate everyone joining us for this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Until the next time, make sure your glass is always at least half full. Remember that free beer is tomorrow, and, well, we'll catch you on down that old dusty Tuscan highway. So, for my brother, Howard Blues, for my other brother, Farva, down yonder, I am the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kenner. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again on the next episode. Beer, Blues, BS. Catch you later.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Hey, it's been like 10 years since the three of us have been together at one time.
Probably.
Yeah. Hey, is my mic working okay for you guys?
It's picking up a lot of noise, but it works.
I'll take care of that. How's that? Much better?
Works.
Is it a wind tunnel?
Yeah, it's a wind tunnel up in here, man. Come on. I live in South Texas. It's still 90 degrees outside.
It's not like you're in South Florida where there's a lot of blow.
That's true.
It always snows in Miami.
It's that Colombian snow. It's the fine powdery Colombian snow.
Jake is like, I don't know anything about anything that you're talking about. I plead the fifth. Can you hear the thumping from upstairs? I'm just curious.
Why, you throwing a party? Why wasn't I invited?
Samantha, this is the party. You sent the invite. The hell, man? What the hell?
Question: Does my name on the bottom? Because does this say my real name?
It does, but I'll take care of that in the editing.
All right. I was going to ask because I was like, in case we talk about some really messed up stuff.
Yeah, no.
But I brought some whiskey in case things get really messed up.
This could be an interesting night then. So
hey, you said you wanted me on. I came, man.
Hey,
It's always interesting. That's every episode of this thing is interesting in one way or another. And I mean, that's what
I was going to ask. Have you checked out tonight's episode that released, number 29, drafted?
Yeah, I did. Apparently, you were disappearing for a little bit.
Yeah, because it. What I want to know is I want Kidder's reaction to the end of that episode. Because if you made it all the way to the end, I did something different, and so.
Oh boy.
He gets scared every time I say I did something different.
I did something sweet. Yeah. Oh, good God. If Farber's going to get a shirt, I believe this is the first one that he should get.
I like it.
That is a Triple B original right there.
Yep.
Which you can find at beerbluesbs.com.
And now we're having merch plugs outside of the actual we have hit a new low.
Oh gosh. Well,
Never happened before. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's I promise it's my first time.
oh shit. I'm only one beer down. Not even we haven't even started.
I
Been there.
Yeah, because I came racing in. Like I literally pulled in, grabbed beer out of the fridge, and came racing down here and got my stuff set up and all of that. So I'm trying to chug this sacrificial beer, and it's.
Well, what are you drinking? What are you? I was going to ask, what are you drinking? I'm drinking a Shiner Light Blonde.
Right now, my sacrificials right now I picked up, which was a mistake.
Yeah,
that's the reason this was on sale. But I have a Leinenkugel's Lemon Haze IPA.
Ugh.
So, yeah,
I see 3 letters in there that tell me that I don't need it.
I agree.
It's an IPA, but with lemon. All the great flavor of IPA. With lemon.
Yeah, so then it tries to class up the taste of a dumpster. I got him. I got him.